The Suicide Bow is one of the more popular builds in SAO Integral Factor, because we can use it to farm the easiest boss from the last 3 stronger integral weapons, which are the Rosso, Yasha, and Gao, because they are all weak to thrust weapon. Today I'm going to show you how to build Suicide Bow build and the skills that are required and additional skill that can help improve the build. The core skills for this build will be a skill that will give higher damage the lower our player HP is. There is one such skill that is given for free after we complete floor 79, which is the filling of gunpowder, Xenon, that can give up to 100% damage the lower our player HP is. Of course, there are better versions of this kind of skill that can be obtained from gacha banners such as the Black Wing Sniper Xenon and few others. Their skills, however, are best utilized in the mod bow skills to maximize their damage potential. Better yet, if it is attached to a mod skills with similar bonus such as the Strict Butler or the Cool Archer Xenon. If you have those skills, there are 2 other requirements that we need to meet to activate the bonus effect. The first one is to keep our HP low, which can be achieved by getting damage from the enemy. But this is not the most efficient way because the risk of dying is very high, and we won't be able to get our HP to the lowest possible if the enemy does not apply the elements and reduce the HP over time. Also, if the enemy does not do that much damage, it will take a long time to lower our HP. The better way is to use a skill that can reduce our damage such as the Sleep Away Sachi, which will reduce our HP by 99% when we use a HP buff, or Shy Mermaid Xenon, which reduces 33% of our HP when the enemy is hit with the skill. With those skills, we will be able to reduce our HP to the lowest possible consistently. However, those skills are only obtainable from gacha, so not everyone will have those skills. There is another way that everyone can do to keep our HP at the lowest possible value, which is by using ingots. There are some ingots that have an effect that reduces our HP when we equip them, and these ingots are farmable from the floor dungeon bosses, so everyone can get them if they are willing to farm those ingots. We will specifically need ingots that have a negative 50% HP effect, and we need 2 of them. But if we have a weapon proficiency skills or ability that increases our HP, we will need the 3rd one. Next, we will need a weapon that has all 3 ingot slots open, and this cannot be our main weapon. Put all 3 of these ingots on that weapon and equip it on our secondary set. Then when we need to do is to swap the secondary weapon and go back to the main weapon, and voila! We have our HP at the lowest settings in our main weapon. And of course, we will want to avoid using any skill that will heal our player because this will reduce our damage, except if we use a skill with the Thin Ice 4 effect that will continuously reduces our HP by 99% as long as we have the HP increase buff active. I think this is the best way to keep our HP low, as we will be able to use it with ability skills that can heal over time and awakening skills that can heal when we use rush. The second requirement that we need to fulfill is to be not targeted by the enemy that we are trying to attack. The enemy targeting is marked by this red line here, so as long as this red line is not pointing to our player, we will be able to activate the bonus from the skills. This is one of the reasons why the tank role is getting more popular when farming against the high level bosses, so that the Suicide Bow players can deal more damage with maximum output while reducing the chance of getting attacked by the enemy. Because of the requirements, this build can only be used in a party settings, whether we are partying with other people or partying using our assist character. We cannot use this build with Koharu because the enemy never targets Koharu, except if you're using Disperse Xenon skill as your main skill, because this skill doesn't have requirements to be not targeted by the enemy. That is the main requirements for the Suicide Bow build, but there are other support skills that will help to increase our Suicide Bow damage significantly. Before that, please click the like button on the video and subscribe to support my channel if you find this guide helpful. Now let's talk about these other sport skills. The first one is a skill record with Reckless Courage 4 buff. This buff can give higher attack as our HP get lower, which works really well with this build, because it also requires our player to have a low HP to maximize the bonus. Some examples of the skills with this buff are the Sniping Arrow Xenon, Sickle Wind Phenomenon Koharu, and Rabbit Chase Under the Moon Xenon. I will show you here how much the Reckless Courage 4 buff will increase our damage, and as you can see, the increase is quite significant because it will roughly add 2000 flat attack when our HP is at the lowest point possible, according to my previous test. There are two other types of support skill that were great additions in the past but are no longer useful against the high level bosses. These skills are the skill with Adversity buff 4 and Hunter Eye buff 4. Because these skills give more critical rate and damage when our HP gets lower. But the higher level bosses all have very high critical resist that it is very difficult to hit critical constantly against those bosses. Those skills are still very useful against enemy with low critical resistance though. On the ability, just use skill that can increase our player's attack and damage. We do not need any defensive skills or gear since we will die in one touch regardless with this build. Also, once again, avoid using ability skill that can heal our player because it will reduce our damage. A skill that increases a flat attack such as Power Rise 3, Power Rise 4, and Advanced Trooper 4 and 5 will be a good choice. And skill with the 5 sharp weapon 3 is a good addition too, as long as we can negate the healing effect. Also, skill with high attack percentage, such as a Veteran Sword Technique 4 and Persistence 4, can be a good addition too. Here is an example of my skill build against the floor 85 boss, Huang. I use these two skills as the main damage dealer, with the first skill here being a mod skill attached with the Suicide skills, and the second one itself is a Suicide skills. And then as a support skill, I have this Koharu skill with the Reckless Courage 4, and this other Xenon skill that can increase my Switch Gauge. On my ability, basically I use a skill that can increase my attacks and my damage. That is it for the Suicide Bow guide. I hope this guide helps you understand the build better and give ideas to apply it to your build. If you want to know how the bonus on the Suicide Bow skill works, check out this next video here to learn more about it. And I will see you there. Bye now.